The other day I put an Instagram story up asking you what is your go-to film camera. So not your best or your favorite film camera, but the one that you always grab when you're heading out to shoot. I find it really interesting to talk to people about what cameras they gravitate towards, as it can really tell you a lot about their personality, their shooting style, and just their general approach to photography. I was really blown away by the response that I got, and I wanted to share the results with you. I think this is going to be a really fun episode, and make sure you stick around to the end to find out what my go-to film camera is. It's not what you think. I had about 60 people in total tell me their go-to film camera and had some really interesting chats. I have tried to sort of group the cameras and sort of organize the results in a way that I can present to you guys, and we can kind of go through and find out what cameras people are actually shooting and using really regularly and why. So first up is the Olympus M. I grouped them together with like the 1, the 2, the stylus, like all the sort of compact Olympus cameras. And yeah, people just basically said what you would think, like they can just put it in their pocket when they're heading out to shoot, fits in your handbag nicely. It's just really compact, really easy. And then, you know, you've got a camera on you when you're out. I have never used a M. They're pretty expensive to buy now, but I do have a friend that has one, and I'm definitely gonna hit him up and borrow it, obviously make an episode and share it with you guys. I was kind of surprised by this one, but the one that ranked the most on people's go-to film cameras is the Nikon F series. So obviously there's like the, you know, F2, F3, the Nikon FM, all the Fs. I am a huge Nikon fan, as you probably know if you've been watching the channel, and I just think that this goes to show that Nikon is such a reliable system. People like Bill Smith from Classic Camera Revival, his go-to is the FM2N, and a bunch of other people, Tad Barney said the F2A. Hamish is a friend and a fellow film shooter over in Melbourne, and he goes by Luxury Vacuum, so look him up. He said he got a Nikon FE2 a couple of months ago, and it's been a wonderful addition to his collection. It's a really nice form factor, compact, and has a fast shutter speed, meaning I can shoot with the lens open on bright days, and equally I can comfortably shoot high ISO films in a range of different lighting conditions. He's saying he's already a Nikon shooter, so this complements his setup nicely without the need to invest in a new system. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I think that the Nikon F series are so good. They look amazing. They have really cool history. I've shot with an FE but not an FE2, and yeah, I really enjoyed using that camera. Next up is the OM series. So again, I've grouped them all together. I had a bunch of people send me through a variation of one of these, saying that that was their go-to. Either it had been handed down as like sort of a family heirloom, or it was like their first film camera and they still use it and it's just really reliable. So yeah, while we're on SLRs, I thought I'd go through that. I recently got an OM10, and when I shared that camera on YouTube, like so many people were like, oh my god, you're gonna love this camera, like you can use it like a point and shoot, and it's just really good. Seems like it has a real sort of cult following, and Olympus really came through in this search. Like we had like the M, the OM system, and also quite a lot of people mentioned the Olympus Xa as well, including Curtis Whitehouse, shout out to you buddy, and also Christopher Stern from from the photo department, and he has quite a few videos on the Xa. I'm pretty sure the Xa is a rangefinder technically. I've seen a couple of videos on it, I've never used it, but yeah, I think that's still quite an affordable point and shoot and is getting really good reviews from people. Unsurprisingly, some people did say Leica, and that's fine. A few people actually apologized and said sorry when they sent me a message saying that the Leica was their go-to camera, and that's totally fine. No judgment here. I mean, if I had one, maybe it would be my go-to, I don't know. So mostly the M2, the M3, and the MP were what people said. So, you know, once you put a lens on that, it's like thousands of dollars that I don't have. So Mr. Aaron Shapiro, shout out to you. Yours was the Leica M6, and you said it was small, lightweight, with a good light meter and a sharp lens, of course. I kind of feel like this is obviously going to be your go-to if you've invested in a Leica, but it's interesting to see that overall the response wasn't really expensive cameras, which I think is really cool. So I'm just going to run through some, I'm just going to shout them out, shout all you guys out. Thank you for sending through your go-to film camera. I had fun going through these. So Edward Iglesias, you're a legend. You chose the Yashica Matte 1T4G, which is an unusual choice. That's a TLR, and I can't imagine that being my go-to camera. Marina, I'm pretty sure that's how you say your name, from Analog Diaries channel, which if you haven't checked out, You should 100% go over there. She is awesome. Hers was a Pentax MZ6 because she said it was small and portable and just easy to like grab when she was leaving the house. Lukey's Film, which is, he's a fellow Queensland photographer. He does some amazing portraiture work. He picked a like Konica point and shoot that I've never heard of. He said he got it for like $7 at the market, so love that. This one's funny. So Giovanni Massa, he picked a Pentax Zoom 90, and it's a waterproof camera, which I guess is like really versatile. And he said that it's just screaming 90s dad vibes, and I could not agree more. Yeah, waterproof zoom. Who would have thought? Harley picked a Canon Prima point and shoot, and he said it's sharp and reliable. I've never heard of that before, and I love finding out about new point and shoots, so I'll definitely be looking that one up. So my favorite YouTube channel, my favorite YouTuber, Jamie Maldonado, he chose a Hasselblad, which I was like, if that was anyone else, I'd probably be like, oh, you know, you're just trying to like flex and show off. But when I thought about it, I was like, it actually makes sense because Jamie Maldonado is such a dedicated film shooter, and I can see that really working for him. I know he'd be using it and loving it, and there's no way he would be just trying to show off. So love you, Jamie. He said, I love Hasselblads because they are generally good at anything. They are ergonomic for being as heavy as they are, and they're super intuitive to use. So he has some videos using his Hasselblad, so make sure you check those out after this one. Old camera guy, you may have seen his videos here on YouTube. He sent me through his camera, so thank you for that. The Rebel TI, which I wasn't super familiar with. I have a Rebel G and I absolutely love it. I have a video on it. I'll pop it up somewhere up here. I asked Dave, could he tell me the difference between the two? And he kindly sent through this. He said the G was introduced in 1996 and the TI came around in 2002. So a little bit older. The TI has a better, faster autofocus and a stainless steel lens mount. The TI has a bigger LCD screen on the back instead of on the top. He sent me through some photos too. And a backlight button, which really helps in low light situations. So a little bit of information on those there. I think any EOS, Rebel, Kiss, whatever they're called, because they have like so many different names. They're just such great, like underrated cameras. And I did have a few other people send through that one of those variations was their go-to camera as well. So awesome. While I'm on the subject, Shannon, I can't pronounce your last name, sent through his Canon 300V with its current 17 to 40 millimeter f.4 lens. He said it's still a pretty light setup, but what he prefers more is to put a 40 millimeter pancake lens on it, and then he can pretty much use it, you know, like it's really light and it's pretty much like a point and shoot, which I've heard a lot of people say, and I'm definitely in the market for one of those to pop on my Rebel G. He said he takes his everywhere. It's heaps of fun to use, and it has all the advantages of a newer camera like auto rewind, auto focusing, and even double exposures. So just gotta love Canon. Anthony Ritchie, you were the only one that also gave me a digital camera go-to, which I love because I think there's a place for both. And your film one was your K1000, which is an extremely reliable camera. A lot of people learn on that camera. And then your digital was a D750. I don't know anything about digital cameras, so I'm not sure if that's how you say it. Is that right? Can I say it? 750, and his digital was a D750. So shout out to you, Anthony Ritchie. If you don't follow, if you don't follow him on Instagram, give him a follow. He is such an amazing supporter of anybody shooting film and anybody creating content, and he's just a really nice guy. Travis Kennedy sent me through a camera that I was not familiar with, and I thought it might be interesting to talk about. It's a Fujifilm Class, I think that's how you say it, and he said that it's the first of the last 3 high-end point and shoots that Fujifilm made, and this one is from the year 2000. It has an all-metal body, 38mm f2.6 lens, and has full auto and manual modes, so it sounds like a real beast. He said it's on the same level as the Contax T2, but you can usually find them for half the price or less, so I thought you guys might find that interesting. He said he got lucky and found his one for like around $600, so it's still quite a lot for a point and shoot, but I guess it's a metal body and it's got a lot of features and a really good lens, and it is cheaper than the Contax T2, so maybe you should check it out. Philip Gibson, I think I'm saying that right. My go-to film camera is my Lubitel 166 Universal. So they're sort of a lesser known like medium format camera. Nuno, who is here on YouTube, he has a video with one of those. Philip said, I love shooting 120 and this camera is so compact and light. It just slots into my bag. I love how basic and plastic it is. So do I, Philip. I love plastic in cameras, not in anything else. It is, but the results are really lovely, especially for portraits. And yeah, he said he mainly shoots HP5, but also Kodak Ektar for its poppy colors. Gotta love some Ektar. I tell a lie, I do love some other plastic things like plastic jewelry or like resin jewelry, which I'm pretty sure is plastic. Philip also sent over a cool Instagram called Leica Community. So yeah, all pictures taken with those cameras, and I'm always up for something that's affordable and available to people. Let's keep film photography accessible. And if you want to get into shooting medium format, maybe one of these Leica cameras could be the one for you. Stapled Together on Instagram and on YouTube. He has awesome videos. Check them out. He's over in Perth. He sent through his Fuji 6x9, so kind of an unusual choice. He said that's his go-to, but he also sent over a Polaroid because he shoots a lot of Polaroids and they just look amazing. Like, I'm like, your Polaroids look so good, and I really admire anyone who can like nail Polaroids. He said the Polaroid Impulse AF. It's the most ugly but amazing Polaroid camera ever. So anyone who's in the market for a good Polaroid, check that one out. I know I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that one because his Polaroids look so good. So in my research, I feel so smart. People mostly chose 35mm cameras, which I'm super into because I'm an avid 35mm shooter, and I do think it's a lot easier to shoot. It's more accessible. I guess it's less expensive, but yeah, not a lot of people said medium format cameras. Most people went down the sort of route of an SLR or a point and shoot, and people's main thing was sort of usability and like the weight of the camera and like the convenience of the camera. So either they know it really well and they just know they're going to get good shots with it and it's reliable, or it's the size, so it's like the Mu or the XA or something like that, and they can just like shove it in their bag when they're heading out. If I didn't get a chance to shout you out, I'm really sorry. Thank you for sending your camera through. There were just so many random cameras coming up, like people were picking like Practicas or like those sort of Eastern like Euro cameras, or just ones that I hadn't heard of before, and I find that really interesting and it was really refreshing. I kind of thought that everyone was like shooting with the same cameras, and we see a lot of the same cameras on YouTube. So yeah, it was really great to know that there's all different kinds of cameras out there being shot by people and people are loving them. So now what you've all been waiting for, my go-to camera is the Canon SureShot 76 Zoom. This guy is super reliable. I have done a little bit of stuff about it on the channel, shared some photos that just always look amazing. So it's pretty compact compared to some of my other like 80s point and shoots. It's got like a nice little case. It's really lightweight. It's in really good condition. I don't have to like tape it up or do anything to it to get it to work. It always hits autofocus. It even looks good like when I use the zoom, which is really unusual for these like 90s point and shoots. I find you lose image quality a lot when you zoom in. It looks super cool at night with the flash, and you know how much I love flash. And yeah, it looks really good like midday sun, when you'd expect a camera to look good when it's got lots of light. It also looks really good like in a low light situation or when it's overcast. It's literally never missed focus, which is something that I look for in a point and shoot. It's not one I would have bought, like definitely not. I'm not a Canon shooter normally, and yeah, it just doesn't look like it would be that great, but I just absolutely love it, and I love that it's reliable, and I pretty much just always have it on me with some Color Plus loaded in, and it just works for me and I love it. If you liked this video and found it enjoyable, please share on social media. It really helps to get the video out there to new people whilst trying to work this YouTube algorithm. If you missed the Instagram story and you still want to let me know what your go-to film camera is, please do so in the comments below. I would love to hear it and chat about it. I've recently put a podcast up on my Patreon and also a Patreon exclusive vlog of a little sort of behind the scenes of me before I go out and shoot. So if you want to see that and you want a little bit of extra Lucy Lumen content, follow the link in the description below and you can join me over there. Thank you to everybody who sent your camera through. I was really overwhelmed by the response, and I love engaging with the film community, and I thought it would be more fun to share other people's go-to cameras rather than just mine. If you want to know what my favorite film camera is, then follow the links coming up.